Morning, it's day 263. Very windy today. Beautiful blue skies. Gorgeous sun, as always. Sorry about the wind. Before I start, please like and subscribe. Share your comments. Be as negative or positive as you like. Big shout out to my mother today. I hope you're well, Mum. And Doddy, obviously, I'm talking to you today, buddy. Get your backside over. I've been up today quite early, actually. Cleaned all the windows. Got to put myself through some paint, see what that's like. Bear in mind it's great ordering them and looking through them, but maintaining and cleaning them are two different things. I do need to get some grease in there, that's for sure. It looks like the weather's starting to take its toll on the track already. A couple of little marks, which not major, but yeah, they were quite easy to clean actually. In fact, the bigger ones were better than the bifold ones. I was expecting to see a lot more salt residue on the windows. Bear in mind it's been a good, 8 weeks I think they've been in for. And they've had their first clean, but there wasn't, it was alright. So that's a telltale sign as to whether we're going to get a lot of rot. I mean, they're aluminium, but obviously there is going to be some stainless steel and normal steel on there somewhere. So, but I am going to get as much grease onto everything as I physically can today. They don't really do grease here, but I've managed to find a small tub. It's like a bright green colour for some reason. But I greased up the hinges on the main windows last week. So I need to do the bifolds and the tracks on this. When you clean them like your car, you sort of see there's a lot of paint splashes everywhere and whatever else, so you can't really see them from here, but they're everywhere, so I'm going to have to try and get all of those off. And quite a few more scratches on the doors than I thought there was, which is a real shame. But anyway, we need to get the silicone obviously all the way around, so it's something I might actually start doing, just because at the moment time's getting on, so I'd rather just get some of these things done. But before I do that, it's literally getting all the dust and all the crap out. I have actually bought one of those backpack blowers, so they were just as cheap as the ones that you sort of electric ones you plug in that are about as useless as a hairdryer. So I thought I might as well get something decent, so I'm going to fire that up later on today, try and get some of the dust gone, and then try and keep on top of it on a daily basis. Today, again Saturday, reasonable skeleton staff. We've got a few people off because of catching up with shopping or wives going to hospital, whatnot. So we've got a carpenter, a new carpenter in today. We've got 3 labourers and we've got the foreman. We might have another carpenter that's due in a bit later on, and one of the masons may come today. But at the moment that's it. We've got a small team today. So what I want to try and do is the concrete board above the front door where the light is. I want to get that repositioned and get the concrete board up so that the painter, the painter's here. The painter can crack on with getting up there and starting to prepare that and potentially get that painted today. So it's then just waiting for the electricians to fit a light. I'm just going to put a spot in there for now, like one of these. Just going to put one of these spotlights in for now until we work out whether we're going to put some form of fixed or hanging light of some sort. I mean, obviously it's a lovely area, so it'd be good to put something a bit featured, but obviously there's a lot of wind that comes this way, so we'll see. We'll have a quick look at that. It's not a major thing as long as there's a little bit of light. Other than that, I think the carpenters are finishing off some of the box work that's going to be needed for the beam on the wall, because now that we're at height and the concrete's been poured, we're now ready to start putting the boxing up in and around, getting the beam in, and then we can get pouring the beam. So that's the ring beam. So that's normally about a foot. So you get to around about 8-9 feet, and then you run a ring beam about 12 inches all the way around, and you fill that with concrete on top of the blocks, and hopefully we'll get that bloody tight this time, because normally what happens is the wall is like that and then the beam comes out, which causes a problem when you're trying to plaster or trying to do any form of finishing. So we need to get the boxing as tight as possible and make sure the top pieces have actually got wood that holds that box work in. So I want the beam as straight as possible this time. So I'm fed up seeing bent beams and swollen beams. Once that's done, then I think it's another 2 courses to go on top, and then there's another beam which again has to be poured, and then the roof gets done at the same time as the beam. So I need to speak to the concrete companies this week, so I'm not too sure which one to pick. Without being rude, as we know, they're all much of a muchness. Some are expensive, some are cheap, and all of them do a very similar job. And they all contract out the individuals that come and lay the concrete and do the runs on the concrete. So it's not as if they take the responsibility there, but they do send someone out. So it's just making sure I can talk to them about who they're going to pick and make sure they're bloody good this time. God, give me a roof that runs in the right direction. It's all I ask. It's not rocket science. On another note, we haven't seemed to have had any damp patches coming through again since the roofing company came back out. Unfortunately, he's gone on radio silence with us, so I'll give you guys the details later on, but I wouldn't recommend this roofing product or this roofing company. Everybody comes out and sells you their dream product and their guarantees, but you buy the product on the hope that the product doesn't let you down. If it does let you down, then the guarantee is about making sure that one, the product rectifies where it's falling over, but also if there's any damage been caused by that falling over, then they also rectify that as well. But this company is blatantly not capable of providing a product that works, and as much as they have been out 4 or 5 times to try and help, they've now started using different products rather than the product I bought from them, which concerns me that the product I bought from them isn't what it should have been. And at the same time, we now have damage. I mean, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a stain right through the middle of the roof now, and right at the very back, which I don't know if I can point out because I can't see where I'm pointing, but roughly here, just behind that light, the filler and the paint is literally bubbled away. So that's all got to be hacked out now and refilled and repainted, and they should be paying for that. We shouldn't be actually getting involved, and they should be offering. But at the moment, what he's saying is, we think that what you have is a structural problem and our warranty doesn't cover that. Well, without being rude, when they came out, the problem we have up there is movement cracks. They were exactly the same 2-3 days after we had the concrete poured, and they were exactly the same when they came out to do the roof. That's the whole reason why we got them out. We wanted to seal the roof and ensure that the cracks that we had didn't turn into leaks. And they assured us their product would work. So we hired them, they came out, it was 16,500 Bayesian. It looked great from day one, but then we started seeing patches of it peeling off, and then the first bit of rain we had water coming through the cracks. So they've been out 4 or 5 times to try and stop it, and they haven't succeeded until now. But they put on a rubber, so that the original product was just a roll-on stuff, which I've shown you already, but now they put on like a mesh and a rubber, which is fine. But it's not the product I bought, and it's not their product. It's a product they're now buying off the shelf. So I could do that. I can go to a company and buy that. So anyway, to cut a long story short, we have a little parapet, if you like, going around the house, which is about 4 inches high. They were sealing up to that rather than going up and over it. So we asked them to go up and over, and since they've done that, it seems to be better. Not that we've had a lot of rain since. So fingers crossed, getting them to do what they should have done in the first place should have stopped the problem. We've still got to deal with who's going to rectify the problem of the mess. And where I'm concerned, they're now on radio silence, which I assume means that they're welching on their 10, 15-year guarantee, which means that, one, I have a little bit of a legal situation to consider, and two, I've now got to find someone else that's going to come in and maintain the roof with an alternative product, bearing in mind that's all they've done anyway. So, and I've had 2 or 3 of you actually email me asking me what I think about the product, and it's a difficult one, because the guy that runs it is a good guy and he's a nice guy, but if the product is weak and the service and the guarantee is flawed, then there's no way I can recommend them. So at this present time, Zypex is probably the best product on the island that you can physically get off the shelf, and it does a number of different things. You can add it to concrete. You can add it to the mixed concrete you make on site. You can also have another one that you put onto walls that enables it to seal as you concrete and join the two together, like a Weldcrete. You would put it together like that. So they seem to have probably the best name on the island, and they seem to be one of the most popular used. And you can buy most of it off the shelf in like Carter's or places like that. So I'd probably recommend that at this present time, which is a shame. I'd like to recommend the other one, but that won't happen. So I think I will do a video just on that one product and the issue we've had on the roof, because they're clearly selling that solution on the island, and I won't want anyone else to go through what I've been through, that's for sure. Leaks on roofs aren't rocket science. If you have a crack, water finds its way. Sometimes it can be coming from a place you least expect. But if you're in the roofing game, you should understand exactly how a roof can leak and should leak, and your product that you sell should be able to stop that leak. If it doesn't, then you shouldn't be selling it, period. So, yeah, Neil, I did tell you don't bother with it. So from my point of view, sorry that I'm not able to recommend it, but I think Zypex is probably at this present time your best bet. There's also a roofer on the island I've got to know as well that seems to be sort of trying to help me out. So I might obviously get a little bit of a thing going with him, and get him to do a talk on the roof and where he thinks the flaws are and the weaknesses are and what he feels you should do when you do a concrete roof. We've got the same thing coming. Obviously, we've got another concrete roof going on here. So just because it's concrete has waterproof in it, you have to put something on it. Now the island still embraces torch on, which in my world is like ash felt or hot tar. So torch on is the same thing as far as I'm aware. They heat the roof, they heat the rubber, heat the tar, heat the ash felt, roll it down, torch it until it all sticks together. They're still doing that a lot. Whereas liquid rubber sheeting, fiberglass, that's probably the way forward, certainly in this climate. But there doesn't seem to be a great sample of it here, and everyone that does it brings it in from Miami. So I think that's what I'm going to do on here. I'm going to go for a rubberized roof on this one to see how that goes. And if it works out well, then obviously the cost should be a lot lower due to the size. I may very well go get this company to come in and take off all of the stuff that guy put on, and just literally get down a new white rubber roof on there that will reflect the heat, keep obviously the heat out the house, and repel the water from actually touching into the concrete. I think that's what I'm going to do. So anyway, the carpenters are starting to put door frames together. I'm not too sure what the single door frame's for. We have a double door frame downstairs that we've got to do today. So what I have bought is 2 single door frames. We've got to try and make a double door frame out of it. So they may very well be going down and putting the 2 single door frames in, getting them prepped up, nailed in, screwed in, and then taking the middle supports out. So I'll double check what they're doing, just to make sure it goes double, and then we can get the doors in, get that secured up downstairs. I took the kids downstairs into the underground part last night, and they were all, like kids, having a right good laugh. So other than that, I've got to do the, what have I got to do today? I've got to do the skirting boards in the master bedroom, get them cut, get them installed. All the other the skirting boards are in and mounted, apart from ones in and around the door frames I'm waiting to put in. Once the door frames are in, we can start obviously fixing up to those and getting those done. Hopefully we're going to get another 2 doors next week. I will at some stage today probably video the doors as well once everyone's used and out. They do look amazing. I mean, they're matte white, they're massive, and we've got some gold, really nice door handles for them as well, so they look amazing. So still got to get them finished off. I mean, they're in, and I've got to try and get the actual mortise locks and the mortise latches at the moment for European door handles. Here's all American. They're the same sort of size. I mean, the Americans are 3¼ inch long, European ones are 3 inch long. But the centre point is 57mm on the European and 60mm on the American. So, and they use a smaller square for the door handle than they do in Europe, so it doesn't fit. So I've got to try and source those. But once they're sourced, we've got all the handles, we can fit those, and they look absolutely gorgeous. So all we're waiting on is Anthony. Anthony, get your arse in gear. Get making doors. We need 10 of them. Got 2, 8 to go. I don't want 2 a week. That's going to take another bloody 4 or 5 weeks. So get your chop saw out, get your chisels out, and get making my doors quick as possible. But yeah, I will show you a door later on. It does look amazing, big, and I was gutted I did it at the beginning because of the cost and the aggro, but now it's in, I'm like, it does look amazing. So I'm glad I did it, as long as we can get them all in, obviously. Okay, other than that, I'm blabbering, so I'll leave everyone to it. Anyone got any questions, let me know. Anyone new to the channel, please like and subscribe. The more people that like and subscribe and comment, the more viral it gets, and the more people get to see what's going on, the more I get to learn, and hopefully the people that subscribe and get to watch the video get to learn as well. So other than that, enjoy the Saturday morning, and I'll check in soon.